All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving deep into something that's right on the verge of changing, well, pretty much everything: quantum AI. It has this incredible promise, but it also comes with some really huge risks. So, the big question is, how do we build the rules for this future before it actually gets here? Let's get into the blueprint for how to govern it. And look, this isn't some far-off science fiction idea we're talking about. This technology is happening right now, and the choices we make, in the very near future, they're going to have consequences that ripple out for generations to come. The stakes just could not be higher.
To really get your head around the scale here, just think about this. A problem that a traditional supercomputer might need thousands of years to solve, a quantum machine could potentially crack it in just 1 second. Yeah, that's the kind of mind-bending leap in power we need to get ready for.
So, let's start right at the beginning. What exactly is this dawn of quantum AI? Because this isn't just a slightly faster version of what we have now. No way. This is a totally new paradigm, a whole new way of computing that's going to unlock things we can't even imagine yet.
So what is quantum AI? Well, at its core, it's the fusion of quantum computing's insane processing power with the learning capabilities of artificial intelligence. You put those two together, and you've created a tool with just unimaginable potential, one that could be used for absolutely incredible good or for immense harm.
And that potential for harm, that brings us to the real heart of the issue today: the risks of this technology just running wild without any rules or oversight. So let's take a look at what could happen in an unregulated quantum future. This is the critical question, right? The one we have to be asking ourselves right now. What happens if we just unleash this kind of power on the world without first building a framework to guide it? The potential for misuse is frankly staggering.
And it really boils down to 3 huge threats that stand out, and we need to take every single one of them very, very seriously. Weaponization, a total loss of our privacy, and just massive economic disruption.
First up, weaponization. Just imagine governments or even rogue groups creating autonomous weapons or cyber attack systems that are so advanced that our current defenses become completely useless, like overnight. The military and security implications are just huge.
The second major risk, the complete and total end of privacy as we know it. Quantum AI could have the power to break through pretty much any encryption we use today. That means every secure email, every single financial transaction, every government secret, all of it could just be laid bare. It's a threat to the very idea of digital privacy. And third, you've got economic chaos. Think about industries like banking, healthcare, transportation, all being run by a quantum AI making decisions faster than any human regulator could possibly track, let alone understand. This could trigger unprecedented market crashes, instability, and massive job losses as entire industries are flipped upside down.
Okay, so I know that's a pretty daunting picture. But this isn't about fear-mongering. It's about being prepared. And the good news is, there's a clear path forward. There's a blueprint for governance that can help us build the necessary guardrails before it's too late.
The solution really breaks down into 3 concrete, actionable steps. We need to create global oversight bodies, we need to demand transparency in the research, and we have to make ethics education a fundamental part of the whole development process.
So that first step, global oversight, would mean creating international bodies. You can think of them as being modeled on something like the UN or the WTO, but with a very specific focus on quantum tech. Their whole job would be to establish universal ethical guidelines for how quantum AI is researched, built, and ultimately used.
Next up is transparency. By making researchers and big tech companies publish their findings in open forums, we invite public discussion and scrutiny. And look, this isn't about slowing down progress. It's about spotting the dangers early on so we can actually tackle them before they become massive problems.
And finally, step 3. This one focuses on the human element. It calls for a huge collaborative effort. Governments, universities, private companies all working together to create ethics programs. The goal here is to train the people who are actually building this future, the AI engineers, the quantum scientists, the policymakers, to really understand the deep moral and social implications of their work. So, after all the science, all the policy, what does this all really come down to? Well, it comes down to a fundamental choice, and it's one that involves every single one of us. And this is why this matters to you. Because at the end of the day, public opinion is the deciding factor here. The pressure that we all put on our governments and on these tech companies will be what determines whether safety and ethics get prioritized over everything else.
And here is the central conflict, plain and simple. On one side, you have the public's demand for ethical, responsible innovation,
And on the other, you have the powerful pull of short-term economic profits or a military advantage. And let's be honest, without public pressure, the latter could easily win out.
And so we end on this powerful analogy. We have this brief window of opportunity to build a framework, to put the locks on Pandora's box before it's thrown wide open. The race for quantum supremacy is definitely on, but the most important race, that's the one to make sure it serves humanity, not endangers it. And that race, it starts now.